I met Fred a long time ago and recognized that he's a really outstanding player and such a humble man, but I only knew him for a couple of years because he up and died on me. And Lois Dunn, she invited me to the funeral, and I went there, and it was the most moving experience of my entire life. Doc Watson was playing a song for his funeral, and he stopped every couple of lines and wiped his eyes. Everybody was crying in the church, and as people left, I mean, several thousand people showed up, but as people left, I happened to look at the floor and the carpet was wet. It was without a doubt the most moving experience I've ever had in my life. And I just thought that Fred is such a good man and such a good fiddle player, and he's put his mark on the world, that the world needs to remember who he is. So I decided to build a bronze memorial to him. And this will be done as teamwork. I did the maquette, and our Lyle, our sculptress, she's going to do the final sculpture, and then we'll send it off and have it cast in a foundry, and then it's going to be forever sitting in Heritage Square.
Hey, here we are at the Johnson County Arts Center. Welcome to a long journey home weekend. This is the very beginning of what's going to be a life-size bronze statue of Fiddlin Fred Price. That'll be here in the town square of Mountain City. This has been many years in the making. Fiddlin Fred Price was born here, he's from here. He developed a unique fiddling style that was recorded on a number of albums and influenced a number of fiddlers. The music here in Appalachia is legendary. And it's not make-believe, it's the real deal. People grow up with it and love it, and you hear the right kind of music and your feet can't help but tap. That's the way it is in the mountains. So we raise money. This is a community effort to memorialize Fiddlin Fred Price for his dedication to music, his contribution. He was a very humble man, salt of the earth, not at all pretentious. No glitter shirts with tassels in his closet, I don't think. Most of the musicians around here were farmers and worked a day job, and the music was a part of their relaxation, a part of the social network, a part of bringing people together with picnics and entertainment. It was just a way of life for them. And when music started being recorded and records were made and sold, they did enjoy some additional income from it, which was greatly appreciated for the mountain people here, where money's hard to come by, but work's easy to come by. Well, and wouldn't you know it, come on over here. Look here what we got.
Hi there. I met Fred quite a few years back and knew him for a few years before he died. And I was impressed with the fact that he was a real living, legendary old-time fiddler. And him and some of the other people that were here in town then even went back as far as 1927 when they first turned the radio station on in Bristol. And so I was just totally fascinated with the entire history. And as far as I'm concerned, Fred was really the best fiddler I've ever heard that does old-time fiddle tunes. So I think it's really wonderful.
Well, and I love that photo of Fred and Doc Watson, and I mean, that's just an amazing photo.
Yeah.
And to see Doc Watson young,
Right.
like that. I used to go see him. He would play every Christmas at the down home in Johnson City. He'd play 2 shows, and I'd try and buy tickets to both of them every Christmas. That was a tradition for me. So I love seeing the picture of him with Doc Watson. And you know, it's interesting. The maquette that we're using from this has a fiddler on it, and we're gonna. It's interesting, the changes. You know, we're gonna modify it a little bit to be more like Fiddlin' Fred Price. But it's interesting, you know, we've got photographs from the Smithsonian collection, because I mean there wasn't a lot of cameras.
Yeah, that's
People
true.
didn't have a lot of pictures, you know. So we got pictures of Mountain City Fiddler from the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And they actually had some footage, and
Thank goodness for the Smithsonian.
thank goodness for the Smithsonian. No kidding. But that'll be a nice. I'll enjoy being able to work on his features and all, and that's actually why we temporarily remove the head, so that I can work on the skull, work on the features, and get a little more detail and all
You got it.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so nice.
It'll be wonderful to have this project done. I think we're hoping to unveil it next fall, aren't we? For Long
I
Journey
think
Home.
so. That's correct.
Next Long Journey Home.
Right.
A year from now. So we'll work on this and get this until it's near perfect. And then we'll take it to the foundry for a couple months and get it cast in bronze, and then that takes about 5 months usually for that process, and then we'll bring it back and have an unveiling.
Yes. It'll be so exciting.
I'm going to be here at the Johnson County Arts Center, working right here in the lobby where it's air conditioned, and we open the windows, and it's friendly, and people drop by and play the piano, and you can come on by.
Sure.
Watch the process and watch the progress, and I'll be in and out. You can just drop by and see if I'm on the clock or taking a break. Or I love to talk to people and see what you're thinking about.
What'd you do that for?
Sit on the bank and my feet got cold, baby.
Why didn't you put on the socks?
Sit on the bank and my feet got cold. Oh, they didn't ever leave me, baby. You get line out, you get line out, you poor baby. You get line out, you poor. Look down the road, honey, baby. Sack on his back, honey.
Great big sack there.
Down comes a man with a sack on his back, baby.
What you got in there, buddy?
Down comes a man with a sack on his back. I got no for edge and I come back. Oh, that baby mine fell down, but that's sad. He fell down, but that's sad, baby.
Wasted a whole day's work.
He fell down, but that's sad. Searching for edge back to back. Honey, baby mine. Get line, I'll get cold, honey. You get line, I'll get cold, baby. You get line, I'll get cold. say to the grapevine?
I don't know what he'd say.
What did Enoch say to the grapevine? What did Enoch say to the grapevine? No boys in that morning, baby of mine. You get line out your poor babe. You get line out your poor babe. You get line out your poor babe. Little way.
I'm Wayne Martin, Director of the North Carolina Arts Council. When I was in high school in Raleigh, I knew a little bit about string band music from older family members, but I mainly listened to rock and roll, just like other kids my age. And then one day, a friend of mine loaned me this record, Old Time Music at Clarence Ashley's, and that started a lifetime pursuit for me. I really had no idea what to expect from this album, but when I listened, I was awestruck. Out came the sound of fiddles and banjos and guitars and harmonicas and even a washboard. The songs and the tunes really did sound very old, per the title, but they were played with an energy that made them sound really so current and very much in the present moment. And I was especially attracted to the sound of the fiddle, the fiddling of Fred Price. He played so gracefully, and yet his timing and sense of rhythm gave the music an incredible vitality. And he was always able to convey such a deep emotions through his fiddling. In fact, after hearing him on the record, I was so inspired that I bought a fiddle at the local flea market and started to learn. And I'm still learning. once saw Mr. Price in person at a fiddlers convention in Mountain City, and I mustered up enough courage to go up to him and thank him for all that he had done to inspire me in my music. And I was so impressed that evening by his friendliness and also about his own modesty about his playing.
If I had to come up with 2 words that describe my grandpa, the first one would definitely be authentic. He was the real deal. He never put on airs, never tried to be something he wasn't. And I don't know what the word is to describe the other quality that was so unique to him. He had a quiet wisdom about him. All these things that the world sees as important, he just had a way of cutting through all that and knowing what really mattered in life. Growing up, I knew my grandpa played the fiddle. He played every day and every evening, and for anybody that wanted to hear it, he played by himself on the porch at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was just magical. But I never had any idea he had done any albums or had toured or any of that. He just never mentioned it.
Well, the 8th grade students, 2 of them were selected in the 8th grade to call out buses, what they called bus duty. And that's where I first got acquainted with Mr. Fred Price. Right off the bat, Fred was just a genuine, humble person. And he would often, I seen him reach in his pocket every now and then, and even to me, and would hand out a peppermint disc to children. And no doubt, this would be probably the only candy that maybe some of the kids would see, maybe that whole week or something. But beyond that, he was just such a genuine, interesting individual with the kindest heart and a very humble man. And I was so impressed with him that I always wanted to have a fatherly figure like that in my life, and I was so blessed to get to know him. And the ironic part of that was as I think back on it, I didn't even realize this man was world famous for playing music of any kind. I just met him, and he was an everyday person, just like people that you know, that you meet every day. He never give any self-acclaimed credit to himself or pointed that out. He was just a very good, decent human being and the most gentle, humble man that I've ever run across this county, and then for that fact, any place that I've ever been. I have never met a better man with kindness and so humble as Mr. Fred Price.
I've listened to thousands of fiddlers since I first heard this record, but Fred Price still ranks at the top of my list of the greatest old-time fiddlers. And in fact, when I want to go back and reignite my passion and creativity for fiddling, I get this album off the shelf and play the first track on side 1. And in my mind right now, I can hear the sound of the needle hitting the vinyl and Clarence Ashley announcing, "Here's the whole gang, Fiddlin' Fred Price and Sally Ann."
hard part. They can run on down that Lee Highway. Yeah, going on down that Lee Highway. Finally got on television, didn't he?
Now, Ralph started this project back in the 80s, and he got us all the way through with the maquette, with the desire, with the drive, with the vision. He got us through phase 1 of getting this monument done.
Well, and now we're at phase 2, which means Val, who's a local person, is doing the final sculpture. And we're really proud of that because you know this area, you know these people, and besides you're a great sculptor of my mind too. So,
Thank you.
so yeah, because we are in this next phase, we have had some grants from the Tennessee Arts Commission and from the Johnson County Community Foundation. We could certainly use a little more help from some of the people that see this video, because at this point, most of our grants involve matching funds. So the fact that we can find some people's money to go with the public money is really a good thing.
We do need to raise more funds to get the bronze casting itself done.
Right.
And for the residents of Johnson County to come forward and show their support of the arts, of the music, of public art for this area. Now's the time to step forward and bring this project to the finish line. We need you to come forward and help us pay for the bronze.
We do need your help, so if any help would be certainly appreciated.
Thank you.